Welcome, fellow seekers of mystery and adventure, to the world of the unexplained. Today we embark on a journey into the depths of one of history's greatest legends, the legendary lost city of El Dorado. The very name evokes images of glittering temples, vast treasures, and a city built entirely from gold, hidden deep within the untamed jungles of South America. For centuries, explorers, treasure hunters, and adventurers have risked everything in search of this elusive city, lured by the promise of unimaginable wealth. But was El Dorado ever real, or is it merely a product of myth and human greed? In this video, we will uncover the origins of the legend, follow the doomed expeditions that sought to find it, and explore the mysteries that still shroud the story of El Dorado to this day. Is there a hidden truth behind the legend? Or is El Dorado a mirage, an illusion created by the desires of men? Let's dive into the mystery and explore the golden path that has bewitched humanity for centuries. Chapter 1. The Origins of the Legend. The legend of El Dorado, like many great myths, finds its in a mix of indigenous traditions, European imagination, and the natural allure of wealth. The story begins long before the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors. For the indigenous Muisca people of what is now Colombia, the legend wasn't of a golden city, but rather of a golden man. This man, known as the El Hombre Dorado, or the Golden One, was the key to what would become one of history's most enduring tales. The Muisca were known for their complex rituals, and one of the most important took place on the sacred Lake Guatavita. According to legend, during this ritual, the newly crowned ruler of the Muisca would cover himself in gold dust and in a symbolic offering would dive into the lake, emerging as the Golden Man, El Dorado. As part of the ceremony, vast amounts of gold and precious jewels were cast into the lake as offerings to the gods. The story of this ritual, when told to the Spanish, began to morph in the European imagination. To the conquistadors, who were already driven by tales of unimaginable wealth in the New World, this golden ritual suggested something much larger, a city made entirely of gold. Chapter 2. The Spanish Conquistadors and the First Expeditions. It was in the early 16th century, during the height of Spain's conquest of the Americas, that the first whispers of El Dorado reached European ears. Tales of cities dripping in gold, where kings walked covered in golden dust, fueled the already feverish hunt for treasure. The Spanish conquistadors, who had already plundered the wealth of the Aztec and Inca empires, believed that somewhere in the dense jungles of South America lay a city that would surpass all they had ever found. In 1535, Sebastián de Belalcázar, one of the most ambitious of the Spanish conquistadors, set out on an expedition to find El Dorado. His journey was filled with hardship, as he and his men fought their way through the dense Amazon rainforest, enduring disease, starvation, and attacks from indigenous tribes. But the Golden City remained elusive, and after months of fruitless searching, Belalcázar's expedition ended in failure. Belalcázar was not the only one captivated by the legend. Gonzalo Pizarro, the half-brother of Francisco Pizarro, who conquered the Inca Empire, also launched an ill-fated expedition in 1541. Pizarro and his companion, Francisco de Orellana, ventured deep into the Amazon in search of El Dorado. Their journey, like many before and after, was marked by extreme hardship, and they returned empty-handed, having found no trace of the Golden City. Despite these failures, the allure of El Dorado remained strong. Each failed expedition only served to fuel the legend further, and countless others would follow in the footsteps of these early explorers. Chapter 3. Sir Walter Raleigh's Quest for El Dorado. One of the most famous figures in the hunt for El Dorado was the English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh. In the late 16th century, Raleigh, inspired by the tales of the Spanish conquistadors, became obsessed with finding the city of gold. His first expedition to South America in 1595 was an attempt to outdo the Spanish and bring the wealth of El Dorado back to England. Raleigh sailed up the Orinoco River, deep into the heart of the Guiana region, now modern-day Venezuela. Despite his unwavering belief that El Dorado existed somewhere in the jungle, Raleigh's expedition, like those before him, ended without finding the fabled city. He wrote detailed accounts of his journey filled with vivid descriptions of the land and its people, which helped keep the myth alive in the public imagination. However, Raleigh was undeterred by his failure and launched a second expedition in 1617. This time, the quest for El Dorado would lead to his downfall. The expedition ended in disaster, and Raleigh, now an old man, was accused of treason upon his return to England. He was executed, but his writings continued to inspire future generations of adventurers to search for the lost city. Chapter 4. The Dark Side of the Search. While the legend of El Dorado has captured the imagination of countless explorers, it also has a darker side. The search for the City of Gold has been marked by tragedy, loss, and exploitation. Many indigenous peoples suffered at the hands of the Europeans who scoured the land in search of wealth, often destroying the cultures and communities they encountered. The relentless pursuit of El Dorado led to numerous expeditions that ended in death and destruction. Hundreds of men died from starvation, disease, and violence as they hacked their way through the unforgiving jungle. In their desperation, many turned on one another, leading to mutinies and betrayals. Even in more modern times, the search for El Dorado has claimed lives. The mystery surrounding the City of Gold has proven irresistible to treasure hunters, adventurers, and even archaeologists. However, none have succeeded in uncovering definitive evidence of El Dorado's existence. Chapter 5. The Symbolism of El Dorado. As we dive deeper into the legend, it's important to ask ourselves, what does El Dorado really represent? For many, the City of Gold is not just a physical place, but a symbol of something greater. It represents the human desire for wealth, power, and immortality. The pursuit of El Dorado is, in many ways, a reflection of our own dreams and ambitions. For the indigenous peoples of South America, gold was not merely a symbol of wealth, but of spiritual significance. The gold offerings made to the gods were acts of devotion, not greed. To the Muisca, the idea of El Dorado was deeply rooted in their belief system, and the gold itself was a bridge between the human and the divine. For the European explorers, however, El Dorado became a symbol of ultimate conquest, a land where their dreams of untold riches could be fulfilled. The legend of the Golden City fueled centuries of exploration, but also unleashed untold suffering and destruction in its wake. Chapter 6. Modern Expeditions and Theories. In the centuries since the conquistadors first set out in search of El Dorado, the world has changed dramatically. Modern technology, satellite imagery, and advanced archaeology have all been employed in the quest to find the lost city. Yet despite these advances, El Dorado remains as elusive as ever. One of the most compelling modern theories suggests that the true El Dorado was not a city at all, but rather a series of Muisca villages where gold was highly valued for religious and cultural reasons. The abundance of gold artifacts found in the region lends some support to this theory, but it does not fully explain the widespread belief in a vast city of gold. In recent years, expeditions have shifted focus from Colombia to other regions of South America, including the Guiana Highlands and the Amazon Basin. Some researchers believe that El Dorado may have been inspired by real cities that existed long ago, but have since been lost to time and the jungle. The ruins of ancient cities, now hidden beneath the thick canopy of the Amazon, could one day provide answers to the mystery. However, as with many great legends, the truth of El Dorado may never be fully uncovered. The mystery continues to fascinate and inspire, drawing new generations of explorers to the jungles in search of the fabled city. Chapter 7. The Lasting Legacy of El Dorado. Even though the physical city of El Dorado may remain undiscovered, the legend has left an indelible mark on history and culture. El Dorado has become a metaphor for the unattainable, something we strive for but can never quite reach. The story has been immortalized in books, films, and art, continuing to captivate the imagination of people around the world. El Dorado has come to represent not just the search for wealth, but the deeper human quest for meaning, fulfillment, and adventure. It is a reminder of the lengths we are willing to go in pursuit of our dreams, no matter how dangerous or elusive they may be. And so, the mystery of El Dorado endures. Whether it was a real city, a metaphor for spiritual wealth, or simply a tale spun by those who sought to conquer the unknown, El Dorado remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The Golden City may never be found, but its story will live on for generations to come, reminding us of the allure of the unknown and the endless possibilities that await those brave enough to seek them. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the legend of El Dorado. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another adventure. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.